I think one of the strangest things about humans is that we willingly put ourselves through stress in hopes of a better future. When you think about it, most animals spend their lives trying to avoid discomfort, but humans actually do the opposite all the time. People stay up late studying or they work a stressful job, and we push ourselves mentally and physically all because we believe the discomfort will eventually lead to something worthwhile. This right here is what I think sets humans apart and makes us unique from anything else. The fact that people can sacrifice comfort in the present for a future they imagine for themselves is actually kind of crazy when you think about it. I also think modern life has pushed this mindset a little bit too far because I think a lot of people have become so focused on constantly improving their lives that they've sort of forgotten how to actually experience them while they're happening. Okay. So people overwhelm themselves all the time, and this is because of what I was just saying. We want to put ourselves through this stress for a better future. We tend, because we have this mindset, we tend to stack a lot of things on top of each other, and it can get overwhelming. Okay, there's this constant mindset about our future and productivity, and it can lead people to even feel guilty while simply relaxing. You can even add social media to the mix because it intensifies comparison and pressure for all of us. The brain in this current age never fully rests. And just to put this all together, people slowly lose sight of what actually matters because they're so distracted by everything else. Okay, we've kind of lost, a lot of people have lost an appreciation for life. Okay. We're always focused on the future. And what this does is it makes us forget about now. We don't appreciate current moments in our lives. Okay. People are bad at realizing they're inside moments they'll eventually miss. Okay. So examples would be, music and friends, drives, nice weather, conversations with people. Okay. People spend so much time preparing to enjoy life later that they forget to experience it now. Okay. The other part of this is that we are lucky to be here. It's sometimes really hard to think that way because we have so many stressors and so many things in our lives. It doesn't always feel like being here is lucky, but it is. Existing at all is insanely unlikely. And, modern life is stressful, but it is also incredible. We do have access to experiences like music and technology, connection. Like, we are living in an age where we have things that people never had before, but people get so overwhelmed that life starts feeling like a constant problem they need to solve instead of actually appreciating life for what it is. And this brings me to kind of solution to this problem, something that I've kind of begun to implement into my own life because it's helped me. And what it really does is it puts things into perspective. Okay, appreciating the small things in life, like I just said, puts everything into perspective. Okay, small moments really reconnect people to life itself. Okay. And when I say it puts everything into perspective, what I mean by this is when you walk outside and you can just acknowledge one little thing that is amazing, you kind of, it puts into perspective what really matters in life. Okay. So when you start doing this and you start training your brain to work in this way and to start appreciating little things and appreciating life for what it is, you start to realize that the stressful day I had at work last night doesn't really matter. The midterm I need to study for next week that I'm stressed about doesn't really matter when you think about it. It matters, right? It's important. Those things are important, but in the grand scheme of things, they don't matter as much as we feel like they do. So when you can appreciate the small things in life and you can just, it retrains you to be more positive, and it retrains you, it rewires how you think about life itself. And when you start doing this, you just kind of feel better. You can just be present. You can worry about the future and think about the future, but you can also be present and you can be here right now and you can appreciate life right now. Some of the best parts of life are small enough that people almost just completely miss them, especially when we're always distracted by these larger things. So I'm not saying that ambition is bad or these human experiences are bad. Ambition is important, and challenges are part of what makes us human, but balance is extremely important. Okay. I think that life feels the best when you're building towards something while still appreciating where you already are. And I think it's about the balance between the human aspect and building towards a future and going through hard times to get there, and the other side of it, which is just simply appreciating life for what it is.